Coming up on OU Nightly, technology that's helping people remember loved ones almost 100 years after their death. OU students by the thousands lend a hand to surrounding communities, and 20 years cannot erase the dreadful memories of the Oklahoma City bombing. OU Nightly starts now. Good evening and welcome to OU Nightly. I'm Eric Payne.
And I'm Alicia Clifton. It was one of the worst fires in Oklahoma history, but as OU Nightly's Clark Sachs shows us, new technology has enabled 39 young men to finally receive a proper ceremony.
Almost a century after a fire took the lives of 40 men at Griffin Memorial Hospital, their previously unmarked grave was given a proper marker to recognize and commemorate their lives.
It was always amazing to me that this was one of the largest loss of lives in Oklahoma's history of a fire, and there was no public memorial, no display of it.
It took a team of people and the use of a ground-penetrating radar to track down where the mass grave is located.
A bunch of different people, like I said, that Dr. Haverstadt, Dr. Brooks, that's the director of the Geological Survey. He had a great interest in it. But you got to get the right people that are certainly interested in pursuing something. And sure enough, we did.
After years of hard work from all those involved, the young men who lost their lives in the 1918 fire will now forever be remembered by the community. Clark Sachs, OU Nightly.
Alrighty, well, it looks like it has been incredibly wet and dreary all morning
but
long.
it has lightened up since this morning. Are we going to expect more of that, Braden?
Well, guys, right now we do have some clearing here in the central portions of the state here looking at Oklahoma City. But what was a forgiving rain and forgiving drought event has turned into a flood event in eastern Oklahoma. This rain will continue to push off to the north and to the east as we go on further into tonight. Actually, right now we have a few flash flood warnings in eastern Oklahoma here in Haskell, McIntosh, Muskogee, Pittsburgh, and Latimer counties. It's been extended further east just recently to encompass the rest of the the Fort Smith and southeastern Oklahoma area. These watches and warnings are until 7:30, so make sure to be aware if you try to travel in these areas to stay away from flood-prone areas. Current temperatures right now, coolest in the central portions of the state. Clouds have really begun to keep these temperatures low, much lower than they were today. 57 here in Norman right now. But guys, I'll have more on how much rain we can expect later on throughout the week, later on the show. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Braden. It was an act of terrorism that shocked a nation, a deadly attack in the heartland. The 20th anniversary of the Oklahoma City Murrah Federal Building bombing is on Sunday, and many Oklahomans are commemorating the event. OU is hosting a two-day symposium on terror, trauma, and memories of the Oklahoma City bombing. Experts from across the country will discuss the community and media's response to the deadly event. The symposium kicked off this morning with a panel discussion about the credibility of reporting and how cartoonists portrayed bomber Timothy McVeigh.
Every instance, every one of those errors appeared to have originated from official sources of some kind. Ones that were not credited.
I mean, there were certain jokes about what was going to happen afterward. The editorial cartoonist in particular made it very clear he was going to hell.
The symposium wraps up tomorrow evening with a reception at the Sam Noble Museum.
And today we start a series of reports on people affected by the terrorist attack that rocked Oklahoma City. OU Nightly's Tyler Jones now brings us the story of a woman who was a little too close for comfort.
April 19th, 1995. A day that started off rather exciting for Laura Oak.
I was really excited because they did a little change on office locations, and so I got to move up to the front right by the windows. And so I had a window seat that I could look out into the Murrah building.
Co-workers at the Water Resources Board were discussing what they were going to bring for a snack day in the office, and Oak didn't know what chitlins were.
And so Bob Chipman, who sat on the left of me, stood up and kind of peered over into my cubicle to start to explain what chitlins were. And that's when the explosion happened.
It was 9:02 in the morning. A bomb at the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building across the street had gone off, killing 170 people and injuring 700 more. I'm here now at the Oklahoma City National Memorial, and this field right behind me is actually where the Murrah building once stood. It is now the field of chairs to pay homage to those who died in the blast that day. And this reflection pool right here behind me, well, that actually used to be part of 5th Street, which divided the Murrah building from this field of trees right here, which is where the Water Resources Board once stood. Oak, 6 months pregnant at the time of the bombing, explained to me what she remembers the blast feeling like.
But it felt like a pressure or sensation go over my entire body, and I screamed, and I didn't know what was going on because I thought it was just something wrong with me or my baby.
And recalls the injuries that she sustained.
My arm had been cut open, and it was cut all the way down to the bone. I had a cut on the top of my head, and so I was bleeding down my face. That my back was covered with glass. And thank goodness I was not working on my computer at the time, because all of that glass would have been all over the front.
But when she spoke of her husband seeing her in the hospital, her emotions got the best of her.
Whenever he got up there, I could tell he was really concerned, like.
Looking back on that day, Oak, like many others, simply wants to know why.
For something like that to happen and to target, children and people who had nothing to do with whatever issues Timothy McVeigh had with the world. So why did he wait until, 9/02? Why?
Tyler Jones, OU Nightly.
And OU Nightly's Dylan Jasna joins us now in the News Center with the latest on election 2016. Dylan?
That's right, Eric. The race to the White House heated up today as Senator Marco Rubio announced his campaign for the Republican ticket. Promising to move politics from the past, Rubio took a small jab at both the Democratic favorite Hillary Clinton and his one-time Republican mentor, Governor Jeb Bush. With Rubio's announcement making waves, Hillary Clinton is making sure her run for president isn't forgotten. Today, she attacked massive CEO paychecks in an email to supporters. Some saw these comments as a sign that she may shift away from the economic policies of her husband, former President Bill Clinton. And after a 7-year-long court battle, a judge today sentenced Jodi Arias to life without parole. In 2008, Arias murdered her boyfriend, Travis Alexander, in his Arizona home. Alexander's family members spoke to Judge Sherry Stevens before she handed down the sentence. They criticized Arias as they broke down in tears. That's what's happening around the nation. Now back to the OU Nightly News Desk.
Thanks, Dylan. Still ahead on OU Nightly, Hillary running for president. Websites donated with her name are worth quite a bit of money. Daniel Soto tells us how much next in Money Matters.
Plus, OU students learn the rewards of performing community service. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.